Madhav Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhav Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhav Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brijana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. We'll begin now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapad Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sagana Raghunathanvitantam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Are you able to see my screen? No, my screen is visible. All right.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. So today we'll begin chapter 21 of the 8th canto, and I'll be covering the first 15 verses. This is a very, very dramatic section, and it's more in story flow, wherein we are seeing, the demigod sages and even Brahma come forward, and they are in full awe of Vamanadeva. They come before him, and the demons, interestingly, they start revealing their true mentality. This is something that we will try to touch upon at the end of the class, one of the qualities. And so let us start first of all by just reading through the summary of the chapter itself that's there at the beginning of the chapter. This provides a nice overview of the chapter, and then we'll begin reading the verses and the translations and where there are purports. So there are not many purports in the first 15 verses. Wherever there are some purports, we'll go through those purports also. And I will request any of the devotees who want to read the verse out aloud, please, unmute yourself, and please, I will request, and then you can unmute yourself and read the verse aloud and the translation also. Hare Krishna. Chapter 21. Bali Maharaja is arrested by the Lord. So this chapter describes how Lord Vishnu, desiring to advertise the glories of Bali Maharaja, arrested him for not fulfilling his promise in regard to the Lord's third step. So we know that, Bali Maharaj makes a promise to the Brahmana boy that, he will give him whatever he wants, and who asks for 3 steps. And then Lord Vamanadev, he transforms into his form as Vishnu, and then he takes the 2 steps. With 1 step, he covers the entire Bhuloka, and the other 1 step, he covers all the planetary systems. And then the 3rd step is where he wants to put, but then there is nothing to keep his 3rd step on. So Vishnu arrests him, Vamanadev arrests him, and we'll read a bit more about what happens. So with the 2nd step, Supreme Personality of Godhead reached the topmost planet of the universe, Brahmaloka, which he diminished by the beauty of the effulgence of his toenails. Thus Lord Brahma, accompanied by the great sages like Marichi and the predominating deities of all the higher planets, offered humble prayers and worship to the Lord. They washed the Lord's feet and worshipped him with all paraphernalia. Riksharaja Jambavan played his bugle to vibrate the glories of the Lord. When Bali Maharaja was deprived of all his possessions, the demons were very angry. Although Bali Maharaja warned them not to do so, they took up weapons against Lord Vishnu. All of them were defeated. However, by Lord Vishnu's eternal associates, and in accordance with Bali Maharaja's order, they all entered the lower planets of the universe. Understanding Lord Vishnu's purpose, Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, immediately arrested Bali Maharaja with the ropes of Varuna. When Bali Maharaja was thus reduced to a helpless position, Lord Vishnu asked him for the 3rd step of land. Because Lord Vishnu appreciated Bali Maharaj's determination and integrity, when Bali Maharaj was unable to fulfill his promise, Lord Vishnu ascertained that the place for him would be the planet Sutala, which is better than the planets of heaven. I'll start now reading the verses and the translations. Hare Krishna, any of the devotees wants to read the verse, please read the verse, and then we can read the translation. There's sufficient time, as there are not in lengthy purports here. Okay.
Shri Shuka Uvacha. 1 second. Satyam Shamikshapcha Bhavo Nakhendubhir Hatasvadhamadyutiravritobhyakat Marichi Mishra Rishayo Prahatvrata Sanandanatya Naradeva Yogina. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shukdev Goswami continued, when Lord Brahma, who was born of a lotus flower, saw that the effulgence of his residence Brahmaloka had been reduced by the glaring effulgence from the toenails of Lord Vamandev, he approached the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Brahma was accompanied by all the great sages, headed by Marichi, and by yogis like Sananda, but in the presence of that glaring effulgence, O king, even Lord Brahma and his associates seemed insignificant. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So over here, it's just the toenails, the glaring effulgence of the toenails of Lord Vamanadeva. So when he raises his 1 feet up, it's just the toenails that go up and pierce, and it's the effulgence of the toenails makes everything else seem insignificant, even though he is accompanied by such great sages. So it also just shows the splendor of the Lord and the power of the Lord. Everything, after all, eventually comes from the Lord. Even in Bhagavatam, we read that when Arjuna, after the disappearance of Krishna, he seemed completely powerless. He was not able to lift up his Gandiva, and he, in fact, struggled also to fight away bandits. He was not able to do that. He lost to bandits. So here's the greatest warrior who was unable to fight. And this is where we need to keep reminding ourselves of our insignificance. Sometimes we do live in this world thinking that, we are great or we have arrived, for example, forgetting that everything, when you look at it in the perspective of the larger cosmos and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are just but an infinitesimal of the infinitesimal. We are so, so, so small and so insignificant. In Bhagavad Gita in 15.15 also, reminded that Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So the Lord is residing in everybody's heart, and it's because of Him that we are able to function. Because every ask of ours, every thought of ours is finally blessed by that Lord. And from Him comes remembrance, forgetfulness, memory, everything comes from intelligence, everything is coming from Him. But the moment He decides to take it away, everything becomes shunya. It becomes useless. That is why, when we see the difference between a dead body and a living being, of course, is that Atma that is there, Jivatma that is there, but it is also the Paramatma who is there, who's actually accompanying that Atma in that body. So let us not forget our insignificance. It's extremely important for us to keep reminding ourselves of our insignificance. Let's continue reading text 2 and 3 together. Hare Krishna. Anyone wants to read the verse and the translation?
Hare Krishna, Anandram Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Giriraj Prabhu. Dandot Pranam.
Let me try to recite. Okay. Text 2 and 3. Vedopaveda niyamayamanvitas tarketihasanga purana samhita ye chapare yoga samira dipita jnanagnina karma kalmashaha vavanadire smarananubhavata Swayambhuvam dhamagata akarmakam atangraye pronamitaya Vishnur upaharat padmabhavorha nodakam samarcha bhaktya bhyag grunachoy shrava yanna bipankeruha sambhava swayam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Among the great personalities, same Sukadeva Goswami is discussing, among the great personalities who came to worship the lotus feet of the Lord were those who had attained perfection in self-control and regulative principles, as well as experts in logic, history, general education, and the Vedic literature known as Kalpe, dealing with all historical incidents. Others were experts in Vedic corollaries like Brahma Samhita. All the other knowledge of the Vedas, Sama, Yajur, Rig, and Atharva, and also the supplementary Vedic knowledge, Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, etc., Others were those who had been freed of the reactions to fruitive activities by transcendental knowledge, awakened by practice of yoga. And still, others were those who had attained residence in Brahmaloka, not by ordinary karma, but by advanced Vedic knowledge. After devotedly worshipping the upraised lotus feet of the Supreme Lord with oblations of water, Lord Brahma, who was born of the lotus emanating from Lord Vishnu's navel, offered prayers to the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vyas Prabhu ki jai. So, while this verse is self-explanatory, I think what really stands out here is all the great experts, all the great personalities who came to worship the lotus feet of the Lord. For them, their prime goal was to do that. For them, that was the highest, though they were already very well accomplished in Vedic literature and other supplementary Vedic knowledges. Yet, that pride was not there, and their main objective was to come and worship. And including Lord Brahma also, who was born of the lotus emanating from Lord Vishnu's navel, offered prayers to the Lord. So I was reading this one particular 1.5.10 from Bhagavatam. And we can just keep reminding ourselves of this. Nayad vachashchitrapadam hareryasho jagat pavitram pragrinita karhichit tadvayasam tirthamushanti manasa nayatra hamsa niramantya ushikshayaha. Translation: those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows. Since the all perfect persons are inhabitants of the transcendental abode, they do not derive any pleasure there. So we'll read this purport also. It's not a little bit part of the purport we can read, and I thought because it's a very, very nice purport. Crows and swans are not birds of the same feather because of their different mental attitudes. The fruitive workers or passionate men are compared to the crows, whereas the all perfect saintly persons are compared to the swans. The crows take pleasure in a place where garbage is thrown out, just as the passionate fruitive workers take pleasure in wine and women and places for gross sense pleasure. The swans do not take pleasure in the places where crows are assembled for conferences and meetings. They are instead seen in the atmosphere of natural scenic beauty, where there are transparent reservoirs of water nicely decorated with the stems of lotus flowers in variegated colors of natural beauty. That is the difference between the two classes of bird. Nature has influenced different species of life with different mentalities, and it is not possible to bring them up to the same rank and file. Similarly, there are different kinds of literature for different types of men of different mentality. Mostly, the market literatures which attract men of crows categories are literatures containing the refused remnants of sensuous topics. They are generally known as mundane talks in relation with the gross body and subtle mind. They are full of subject matter described in decorative language, full of mundane similes and metaphorical arrangements. Yet with all that, they do not glorify the Lord. Such poetry and prose on any subject matter is considered decoration of a dead body. Spiritually advanced men who are compared to the swans do not take pleasure in such dead literatures, which are sources of pleasure for men who are spiritually dead. These literatures in the modes of passion and ignorance are distributed under different labels, but they can hardly help the spiritual urge of the human being, and thus the swan-like spiritually advanced men have nothing to do with them. Such spiritually advanced men are called Manasa also because they always keep up the standard of transcendental voluntary service to the Lord on the spiritual plane. This completely forbids fruitive activities or gross bodily sense satisfaction or subtle speculation of the material egoistic mind. So, social literary men, scientists, mundane poets, theoretical philosophers, and politicians who are completely absorbed in the material advancement of sense pleasure are all dolls of material energy. They take pleasure in a place where rejected subject matters are thrown. According to Swami Sridhara, this is the pleasure of the prostitute hunters. But literatures which describe the glories of the Lord are enjoyed by the Paramahamsas who have grasped the essence of human activities. So just coming back here, and here we are talking not of mundane people, but these are all great personalities, including Lord Brahma themselves. And for them, the first thing or the most important thing was to, of course, worship the lotus feet of the Lord. And so where are we in this whole scheme of things? We are so much more insignificant, as I had just pointed out and highlighted. But how much time do we actually take out to remember the Lord? Forget about actually going and worshipping the Lord or to do other services for Him. And this is a very strong reminder, for at least for me, that we need to put in that effort here to keep reminding ourselves of the lotus feet of the Lord. We'll continue reading now. I'll request another devotee maybe who can read text 4 and the translation and then also the purport. It's a small purport.
I will read, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Translation, Prabhuji, I have to read.
You can read the verse also, Mataji, if you can.
Prabhuji, I can't read that, Prabhuji. Translation.
I will read the verse, Mataji. You read from the translation.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Dhatu kamandalu jalam tad urukramasya padavanechana pavitrataya narendra swardunyabhun nabasi patati nimarshiti lokatrayam bhagavato vishadeva kirti. Yes, Mataji, you can read the
translation and purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O king, the water from Lord Brahma's Kamandalu washed the lotus feet of Lord Vamanadeva, who is known as Urukrama, the wonderful actor. Thus that water became so pure that it was transformed into the water of the Ganges, which went flowing down from the sky, purifying the three worlds like the pure flame of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. Here we understand that the Ganges began when the water from Lord Brahma's Kamandalu washed the lotus feet of Lord Vamanadeva, but in the 5th canto it is stated that the Ganges began when Vamanadeva's left foot pierced the covering of the universe so that the transcendental water of the casual ocean leaked through. And elsewhere, it is also stated that Lord Narayana appeared as the water of the Ganges. The water of the Ganges, therefore, it is a combination of three transcendental waters, and thus the Ganges is able to purify the three worlds. This is the description given by Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. That's the power of the Ganges. As Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, he's saying that the water of the Ganges is therefore a combination of three transcendental waters. And thus the Ganges is able to purify the three worlds. So, till I read this, I was always thinking that, I always had this thing that, it's coming from touching the Lord Vishnu's feet. And that was the reason. But then Prabhupada has enlightened us here by that therefore the combination of three transcendental waters. And thinking about the purity of Ganges, I was reminded actually of another thing and incident, and just wanted to share that. I grew up in Calcutta, and so the Hooghly River, it flows there. It's a tributary of the Ganges. And I remember, and the Hooghly River it gets quite muddy and dirty, and there's a lot of industrial waste, etc., that goes in there. And I still remember very clearly, we used to get this water from that river in a bottle and just leave it to stand. And after some time, we will see all the sediments, no matter how polluted that water is, will go down. And the water that remains on the top would be crystal clear and clean. So, and I don't know about it, whether it happens with all waters, but clearly you could see that, that the Ganges, there was something special in that water, which used to be able to become, it was always pure, irrespective of how much of pollutants and all get mixed into that. The Ganges water never seems to get polluted. It is so pure. Next 5. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anyone? Yes, Mataji, please read.
Okay.
Please read, Mataji.
Text 5. ब्रह्मादयो लोकनाथाः स्वनाथाय समादृताः सानुगा बलिम् अजह्रुः संक्षिप्तात्म विभूतये. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Brahma and all the predominating deities of the various planetary systems began to worship Lord Vamanadeva, their supreme master, who had reduced himself from his all-pervading form to his original form. They collected all the ingredients and paraphernalia for this worship. Purport. Vamanadeva first expanded himself to the universal form and then reduced himself to the original Vamana Rupa. Thus, he acted exactly like Lord Krishna, who at the request of Arjuna first showed his universal form and later resumed his original form as Krishna. The Lord can assume any form he likes, but his original form is that of Krishna. Krishnastu Bhagavan's Swayam. According to the capacity of the devotees, the Lord assumes various forms so that the devotees can handle him. This is his causeless mercy. When Lord Vamanadeva resumes his original form, Lord Brahma and his associates collected various paraphernalia for worship with which to please him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We remember in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where, Krishna first expands into the Vishwarupa and in the Kala Rupa, and Arjuna requests him to come back into his original form, also pretty similar to that. And there in 11.54, Krishna says, "My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding." It's not easy for us to, first of all, understand the Lord, forget about seeing the Lord. Even understanding the Lord is very difficult. And of course, we'll have to make that effort. But without the Lord's mercy, nothing is going to happen. As explained in the purport to the verse, Prabhupada says, Krishna can be understood only by the process of undevotional service. He explicitly explains that in this verse so that unauthorized commentators who try to understand Bhagavad Gita by speculative process will know that they are simply wasting their time. No one can understand Krishna or how he came from parents in a four-handed form and at once changed himself into a two-handed form. These things are very difficult to understand by the study of Vedas or by philosophical speculation. Therefore, it is clearly stated here that no one can see him or enter into understanding of these matters. Those who, however, are very experienced students of Vedic literature can learn about him from the Vedic literatures in so many ways. There are so many rules and regulations, and if one at all wants to understand Krishna, he must follow the regulative principles described in the authoritative literature. One can perform penance in accordance with those principles. For example, to undergo serious penances, one may observe fasting on Janmashtami, the day of Krishna, on which Krishna appeared, and on the 2 days of Ekadashi, the 11th day and the new moon, and the 11th day after the full moon. As far as charity is concerned, it is plain that charity should be given to the devotees of Krishna who are engaged in his devotional service to spread the Krishna philosophy or Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Krishna consciousness is a benediction to humanity. Lord Chaitanya was appreciated by Rupa Goswami as the most munificent man of charity because love of Krishna, which is very difficult to achieve, was distributed freely by him. So if one gives some amount of his money to persons involved in distributing Krishna consciousness, that charity given to spread Krishna consciousness is the greatest charity in the world. And if one worships as prescribed in the temples in India, there is always some statue, usually Vishnu or Krishna. That is a chance to progress by offering worship and respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the beginners in devotional service to the Lord, temple worship is essential, and this is confirmed in Vedic literature. One who has unflinching devotion for the Supreme Lord and is directed by the spiritual master in whom he has similar unflinching faith can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead by revelation. I'll repeat this. One who has unflinching devotion for the Supreme Lord and is directed by the spiritual master in whom he has similar unflinching faith can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead by revelation. One cannot understand Krishna by mental speculation. For one who does not take personal training under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, it is impossible to even begin to understand Krishna. The word tu specifically used here to indicate that no other process can be used, can be recommended, or can be successful in understanding Krishna. The personal forms of Krishna, the two-handed form and the four-handed, are described as Sudurdarsham, very difficult to see. They are completely different from the temporary universal form shown to Arjuna. The four-handed form of Narayana and the two-handed form of Krishna are eternal and transcendental, whereas the universal form exhibited to Arjuna is temporary. The words Tvadanenya na drishta purvam, verse 47, state that before Arjuna, no one had seen the universal form. Also, they suggest that amongst the devotees who there was no necessity of showing it. That form was exhibited by Krishna at the request of Arjuna, so that in the future, when one represents himself as an incarnation of God, people can ask to see his universal form. The word na used repeatedly in the previous verse indicates that one should not be very much proud of such credentials as an academic education in Vedic literature. One must take to devotional service of Krishna, only then can one attempt to write commentaries of Bhagavad Gita. I'll read this one more paragraph. Krishna changes from the universal form to the four-handed form of Narayana and then to his own natural form of two hands. This indicates that the four-handed forms and other forms mentioned in Vedic literature are all emanations of the original two-handed Krishna. He is the origin of all emanations. Krishna is distinct even from these forms, what to speak of the impersonal conception. As far as the four-handed forms of Krishna are concerned, it is stated clearly that even the most identical four-handed form of Krishna which is known as Mahavishnu, who is lying on the cosmic ocean and from whose breathing so many innumerable universes are passing out and entering, is also an expansion of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. It's a long purport. I wanted to read up here and go back now to reading the verses. Yes, so just to again remind us of the Lord's forms are transcendental, and without the mercy of the Lord, of course, we'll never be able to see it. And as Prabhupada is emphasizing, it's not just the Lord's mercies are one thing, our effort is one thing, but also our surrender to the spiritual master is most important out here. You'll now read text 6 and 7. Hare Krishna, can someone read text 6 and 7? Now we can move faster.
Can I do, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
तोयै समर्हणैः श्रग्भिर्दिव्यगन्धानुलेपनैः धूपैर्दीपैः सुरभिभिर्लाजाक्षताफलाङ्कुरैः स्तवनैर्जयशब्दैश्च तद्वीर्यमहिमाङ्कितैः नृत्यवादित्रगीतैश्च शङ्खदुन्दुभिनिस्वनैः. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. They worship the Lord by offering fragrant flowers, water, padya and arghya, sandalwood pulp and aguru pulp, incense, lamps, fused rice, unbroken grains, fruits, roots and sprouts. While so doing, they offered They offered prayers indicating the glorious activities of the Lord and shouted, Jai, Jai. They also danced, played instruments, sang, sounded conches, and beat kettle drums. In this way, worshipped the Lord.
Text 8. I'll read text 8 then.
Okay.
Yes, my Prabhu, please, you can read, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Bhavan Vriksharajastu Bheri Sabdhairmanojavaha Vijayam Dikshu Sarvasu Manotsavam Aghoshayat Manotsavam Aghoshayat. Hare Krishna. Jambavan, king of the bears, also joined the ceremony, sounding his bugle in all directions. He declared a great festival for Lord Vamanadev's victory. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So these are basically, just narrations continuing the worship of the Lord and how everyone is celebrating that. We'll continue reading text 9.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
महिं सर्वं ऋतं दृष्ट्वा त्रिपादा व्यजाव्यचिनये उच्चस्वभरतुरसुरा दीक्षिताश्रयात्मर्षित्याः. The demon translation and purport. When the demonic followers of the Maharaja Bali saw that their master, who had been determined in performing sacrifice, has lost all his possession to Vamanadev, who had taken away on the plea of the begging three paces of land, they they were very angry and spoke as follows.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So here we are seeing that anartha of envy over here. The demoniac followers saw that their master, who had been determined in performing sacrifice, had lost all his possessions to Vamanadev. And you can see how demoniac personalities think and how they get envious. After all the possessions are of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nothing belongs to us. But that entire concept of aham mameti is so strong that when something is getting snatched away, we begin to think, oh, I have lost something. That was mine. Forgetting that, first of all, everything belongs to the Supreme Lord, but also nothing happens without the sanction of the Supreme Lord. So in life, and I mentioned this earlier also, that sometimes we see that we find at work, etc., that people who are not as deserving might be getting accolades or getting recognitions, and for that we feel bad. When we are feeling bad about somebody whom we believe are not deserving getting some recognition, accolades, or rewards, that itself is envy. So here we have to be very, very careful. What we need to remind ourselves is that even that person who is not deserving, if he's getting something, that is also happening by the sanction of the Lord. And by being envious of these people, actually we are being envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, Krishna himself. And Krishna does not like that. So here, very, very evident demoniac mentality is coming to the fore. We'll continue reading and then we'll go to two verses from the Bhagavad Gita after that. Let's read text 10.
Prabhuji,
Hare
can I read
Krishna,
for
Prabhu.
me?
Yes, Mataji, you can read, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Text 10. Navayam Brahma Bandho Vishnurmaya Vinambara Dvijarupa Pratichano Deva Karyam Chikirtsati This Vamana is certainly not a Brahmana, but the best of cheaters, Lord Vishnu. Assuming the form of the Brahmana, he has covered his own form, and thus he is working for the interests of the demigods. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'll continue reading. We're seeing how the mentality is now, the envious demons, they're getting sucked into that entire whirlpool of enemy and naysayers out here, and how their thinking is progressing. Text 11.
अनेन यचमानेन शत्रुनावतुरूपिणा सर्वस्वं नो ऋतं भरतुर्न्यस्तादन्दस्य बर्हिषि. Our Lord Bali Maharaj, because of his position in performing the yajna, he has given up the power to punish. Taking advantage of this, our eternal enemy Vishnu, dressed in the form of brahmachari beggar, he has taken away all his possessions.
Krishna. Continue reading. Text 12. I'll read this. Satyavratasya satatam dikshitasya visheshatah nanritam bhashitum shakyam brahmanayasya dayavata. Translation. Our Lord Bali Maharaj is always fixed in truthfulness, and this is especially so at present, since he has been initiated into performing a sacrifice. He is always kind and merciful toward the Brahmanas, and he cannot at any time speak lies. So these virtues of spoken of Bali Maharaj are also very true. But yet the asuras, the demons, are still not able to actually imbibe that as to why he is doing that. When Bali Maharaj himself is not complaining, they are still complaining. We'll continue reading. We'll finish off up to text 15 and then we'll reflect a bit more. Text 13. Next, anyone wants to read text 13?
Yeah. Text 13. Tasmadasya vadodharmo bhartu sushrushananam chanaha vidyayudani jagruhur baleranuchara surupaha. Translation. Therefore, it is our duty to kill this Vamanadeva, Lord Vishnu. It is our religious principle and the way to serve our master. After making this decision, the demonic followers of Maharaja Bali took up their various weapons with a view to killing Vamanadeva. Thanks, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Let's continue. Text 14 and text 15 also will complete.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, shall I read? If
Yes,
no one
Mataji,
is reading,
please read, Mataji.
text 14. Te sarve vamanam hantum shulapatti shapanayah anichanto bale rajan pratravan jata manyavaha. Translation. O king, the demons, aggravated by their usual anger, took their lances and tridents in hand, and against the will of Bali Maharaja, they pushed forward to kill Lord Vamanadeva. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji, read the next verse also, Mataji.
Okay. तानभिद्रवतो दृष्ट्वा दितिजानि कपान् नृप रहस्यानुचरो चरा विष्णोः प्रत्यषेधन् उदयुधाः. Translation. O king, when the associates of Lord Vishnu saw the soldiers of the demons coming forward in violence, they smiled. Taking up their weapons, they forbade the demons to continue their attempt.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So here we are seeing the reaction of the associates of Vishnu. So the difference between the suras and the asuras is so seen. So on one side, you are having the asuras who are envious, who are wanting to kill, who are wanting to fight. And on the other side, the associates of Vishnu, when they see them, they smile. And they are not smiling actually in a mocking way. They smile out of more mercy. And then they take up their weapons, they forbid the demons to continue their attempt. They're actually telling them stop. But of course, demons being demons, they don't stop. We'll go to Bhagavad Gita, this 16.4 verse, which actually talks a little bit about these qualities belonging to the demoniac nature. Dambho darpo abhimanascha krodha parushyam evacha ajnanam cha bhijatasya partha sampadam asurim. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature, O son of Pritha. And it's a very short purport, but it's a strong purport that Prabhupada actually is highlighting over here, saying, in this verse, the royal road to hell is described. The demoniac want to make a show of religion and advancement in spiritual science, although they do not follow these principles. They are always arrogant or proud in possessing some type of education or so much of wealth. They desire to be worshipped by others and demand respectability, although they do not command respect. They only demand respect. Over trifles, they become very angry and speak harshly, not gently. They do not know what should be done and what should not be done. They do everything whimsically according to their own desire, and they do not recognize any authority. These demoniac qualities are taken on by them from the beginning of their bodies in the wombs of their mothers, and as they grow, they manifest all these inauspicious qualities. And then in 16.19, Prabhupada says, also, we'll just read this verse also. Tanaham dvishata kruran samsareshu naradhaman shipamya ajasram ashubhan asurishrish eva yonishu. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. In this verse, it is clearly indicated that the placing of a particular individual soul in a particular body is the prerogative of the supreme will. The demoniac person may not agree to accept the supremacy of the Lord, and it is a fact that he may act according to his own whims. But his next birth will depend upon the decision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and not upon himself. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd canto, it is stated that an individual soul, after his death, is put into the womb of a mother's where he gets a particular type of body under the supervision of a superior power. Therefore, in the material existence, we find so many species of life, animals, insects, men, and so on. All are arranged by the superior power. They are not accidental. As for the demoniac, it is clearly said here that they are perpetually put into the wombs of demons, and thus they continue to be envious, the lowest of mankind. Such demoniac species of men are held to be always full of lust, always violent and hateful, and always unclean. The many kinds of hunters in the jungle are considered to belong to the demoniac species of life. So, when we read these verses, hopefully it'll at least stick in our minds in terms of what are the qualities that these demoniac people they display or show, which is pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. It's a reminder, very strong reminder to all of us to try and avoid these behaviors and qualities. It is not easy. I am not able to avoid them. But at least we need to keep reminding ourselves that these qualities do not belong to the non-demoniac. These are demoniac nature. And then, as Prabhupada says, there's only one road if we actually demonstrate these kind of qualities and behaviors, which is the road to hell. And then in 16.19, Krishna is saying also what happens to such demoniac persons, that they are perpetually put into the cycle of birth and death, into the womb of a demoniac person. So you will continue to have those qualities, you will continue to be envious, and only the layerings that are covering our soul will get so thickened, that one day we might all become Hiranyakashipus. So this is a big, big warning to us, that we need to keep reminding ourselves about these qualities also, and think about what we should be, whom we should be like. So, and then I had another verse actually that I was thinking about also. And that's it from my side, I think. Yeah. No. So I'll take a stop here, and we have some time now. If anyone has any reflections to share, please feel free to share reflections or comments. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
The element you touched on, the envy aspect, was really nice, Prabhu. Yeah, it is not demonic people that are envious. It's because you're envious, you found yourself placed in demonic world, basically. Right?
Yeah, Prabhu.
And then the other aspect is when you're envy with somebody, even in the materialistic world, you're actually envy with Krishna, because whatever that person has is being sanctioned by Krishna. By being envy against him, being envious against him, means you're actually being envious against the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, basically. So this aspect is these are the two things one should, I guess, should remember and keep ourselves alert all the time. Those two are nice, Prabhu, for me. No.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing, Prabhu. And I feel that also in our dealings with devotees also, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Sometimes these anarthas creep in.
Mm.
Maybe not the very obvious ones like, anger and harshness maybe, but, sometimes like conceit. Also these are very subtle anarthas that are there, but they creep in, Prabhu. And we need to be very, very careful. First of all, those anarthas are there. Second thing, when we are dealing with Vaishnavas, again, we are also maybe committing another Vaishnava aparadh. So it's multiplicatory effects are, as I'm seeing, it's like a domino effect. Like, you just drop one card, cut, everything drops down. And then you are back in hell again before you know. Lilananda Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, for such a reminding class. Very grateful.
Thank you, Prabhu. When I was reading it, Prabhu, initially I thought it is only like, just a story flow. But what I feel is that, that I think every verse has a message, every shloka has a message, every purport, every line, there's some message that is there for us.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Dandot Pranam, Mataji.
There was something I was just reflecting upon yesterday, actually, and I thought I'll share it now. That I heard in one lecture that any of the anarthas can actually be can be like translated in forms of devotional service. Like you can always make it face towards Krishna, like Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Mada. They can be, but Matsarya, which is envy, can never be directed towards Krishna, because when you're envious, you're actually, like you said, you're envious of Krishna. But I was also reflecting in terms of this temple and the temple construction and everything. So those who are envious, so how apparent it is that people have no problem when they are like breaking stones or clearing up lands or doing anything for building their own houses or malls or a stadium or an airport. At that time, there is no nature, there is no natural calamity, nothing. But when it comes to the temple, people have so many objections. So I was just reflecting upon that, how envious they are of the Lord, that Lord does not deserve a big temple. I deserve a bigger house, I deserve a villa, or I deserve whatever entertainment, this mall or airport. But Lord doesn't deserve. Why does he need a big temple or a magnificent temple? So I was just thinking about that. That what is causing this is basically envy. When you're envious, you can never direct that towards the service of Lord. Whereas anger can be like directed, or anything else can be directed. I had heard that in lecture, and I was reflecting upon that. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji, for reminding. Yes, even I heard it, and this Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu has also repeated this, that you can
Yes.
direct efforts for the Lord service, but other than envy and pride are two things that you cannot. And
Pride.
I see that as practitioners of in Krishna consciousness, we are there. We are not advanced or anything, but I'm not advanced, but still I struggle to keep these anarthas away. So what to say of Mataji, the other souls who are there, other jivas who are there outside, who are so far away, who have completely forgotten about Krishna or about who they are itself. They don't even know who they are. And they are just doing it blindly. And
Yes,
they are
Prabhuji.
perfect demonstrations of these asuric tendencies that are being defined by Krishna. So the more they are going to be continuing in that behavior, the more they are going to be thrown into this ocean of birth and death, and in such asuric bodies, and they will continue like this only. They will get asuric bodies, their nature will be asuric, they are going to continue. It's also a very clear indication how Kali Yuga is going to progress in the future. These persons who are destroying, I'm not aware of the incident, but from what I'm gathering, some hooligans are there who are disturbing the temple and all that, right? So they will continue to do that. And they will continue unless there is some divine mercy that comes upon them through some acharya or some devotee. These people are going to be continuing in this life like this, the next life also possibly in that way only.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And for us to ensure that we get our act right as soon as possible.
Yes,
Correct.
Prabhuji. In fact, another realization on that is that anarthas manually, with our own endeavor, we can never overcome them. But Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya can only help us, both of Bhagavatas and Bhagavatam. Then only anarthas can actually get washed away. With clean water, only dirty water will go. So that is also another thing, that if we don't do that, then anarthas will always tend to creep in.
So I'll just share, Mataji, His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu was here recently. And he just, before he was leaving, he actually reminded us, and he said that, I told Charanya and me that, keep these three things very close to your heart and never let go of these three things. I told Lilananda Prabhu also on this. One is, he said, Harikatha. He said, never distance yourself from them. Always keep yourself surrounded by Harikatha. Number two, he said, association, sadhu sangha. Ensure that we always have the right association. And number three, he said, is Vaishnava character. He said, keep reminding yourselves how you need to conduct yourselves also. And as long as we are wrapped ourselves around with these three ropes, will be protected. And this, he mentioned, is a message from Radhanath Maharaj to him. So he shared that with us. I keep reminding myself of that also, Mataji.
Thank you for sharing, Prabhuji. Wonderful.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Lilananda Prabhu, you were
Krishna.
saying something.
No, actually, my wife is sitting the other side. She was commenting on something, so I was talking, on the same thing. We were also reflecting. Yeah, anarthas can be used in service of Krishna, except envy, mainly envy. Pride also, pride also can be used, but pride is the first step of fall down. So pride is the first step of fall down. We'll get back. I'll show you that. The only anartha, because envy means you put your hatred into action, right? Anger is one step, hate is next step, envy is like the ultimate step. Completely take it up. There is. So what was I going to reflect on? Yeah, I was just going to say that, Prabhuji, it's very humbling when we read Bhagavatam. Definitely, because it completely exposes our mind. But one of the biggest illusion that all people live in is we think that we are very innocent and we don't deserve what we are getting. You know, whereas if we really go deeper and deeper and deeper into self-realization, we realize that how demoniac we are, why we have been put into this material world, and we deserve to be treated in the worst possible way by anybody in this world. Don't have to blame anyone. We are beaten, slapped, abused, humiliated is very less for the cause that we are here for. Right? But problem is sometimes when we get into devotional life, we start feeling that we are special. That's another big Maya in Maya. That, oh, now I'm chanting, oh, how did he treat to me like that? Oh, how can he tell to me like that? Oh, this again, there's nothing again is going on. Everything is planned. And we are going through the purification that we deserve. Satsang is the only place where we are reminded why we are here. Of course, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu once told that when you hear too much philosophy, don't get disappointed. Don't become hopeless because you are the soul, part of Krishna. You are the most pure. So there is nothing to be disappointed about. It's just a matter of time. You'll go back to your purified state, or rather, you'll revive your purified state. Having said that, we should also remember, this from another speaker, that we should also remember why we are here. Why we are here, Prabhuji? Everybody in the Zoom call is in material world only, na? Material world is jail, na? And Dukalayam, na? So we are here for what? Punishment only, na? If you are thinking we are here for glorification, we are the biggest fools, because this is a jail. I'm in jail only. So we, yahan pe what kind of respect are we expecting from anyone, right? So I was reading recently. I was reading a lot about Jadabharata and Raghugana and all that. Bharat Maharaj. The conclusion is this only, that uh, just accept whatever is coming your way as mercy of God, and don't be in the illusion that you are pure or you deserve to be respected or anything. Yeah, in all these anarthas, they are so thickly seated, Prabhuji, so deeply that you can only beg, do something Krishna, do something Krishna, do something Krishna. Yeah. That's why you see the many senior devotees, including Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, Radhanath Maharaj, many other senior devotees, many senior sannyasis, when they go in front of deities, they completely surrender. You can see that in their eyes, they completely are taking shelter. And they're teaching us that, no matter how advanced you are in spiritual life, you should know why we are here and how much we are dependent on the Supreme Lord. So your lecture was reflecting on that. Thank you. Sorry, I spoke a little more than I just thought I'll
No,
reflect.
thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for sharing that, and thank you for being brutal also.
No, I'm brutal on me. I'm brutal on me. Please. That's why I seek forgiveness. You're all nice souls here.
Prabhu, we are in a jail, and jail is meant for reform only. Jail is not meant for maza. It's meant for saza.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
So I was
And
just
Prabhuji
thinking,
and
Prabhu, see,
Mataji who are on the call, I was with Anandram Prabhu and Charane Mataji for the last 8 days. I'm missing their presence. You know, I
we
wish
are
you were in
also missing.
Hyderabad. I would have again come. I want to be corrected by Mataji. I'm missing that corrections
No,
on my diet and everything. But thank you for wonderful Vaishnav Seva you're doing, Prabhu, there. 15 days of continuous, 7 days of ecstasy, but another 8 days of tolerance with me. After Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, Hare Krishna. So, it's like posting Narad Muni and after that Hiranyakashipu, for another 8 days. so, thank
Prabhu.
you. Thank you very much, Prabhu. I'm very grateful.
Just one question from my side, Prabhu, I have, is that we compare the anatha to weeds, Prabhu. So it is
Mm,
not sufficient if you burn, they'll grow
mm,
back again. You need to pull
mm.
them out. Right, and here I was just reflecting, Prabhu, how important it is to have that association and the mercy of the spiritual master who will actually pull out those anarthas, Prabhu. Are we capable of ourselves pulling out those anarthas? I'm increasingly believing that maybe we are not capable on our own to pull out those anarthas, Prabhu. Is that correct?
Prabhu, um, everybody else can add. My take on this is we just can't keep saying that God will do it. God will only do it when we desire for it. So we definitely have a big role to play in leaving the anarthas. Sorry, there is a lot of background talk here. Yeah.
No problem, Prabhu.
So I'm just saying that at least we should beg for it. We should desire for it. Otherwise, God will not remove it. He wants to. He wants us to let go, but it has to go by our will. So they can be uprooted, but not against our desire. Not against our desire. We are totally dependent on him only. But we should ask for it. No? We are asking for it and doing something else. We are asking for it and thinking something else. He knows better. No? ये पूरा नाटक कर रहा है व्यासासन पे बैठ के भी नाटक कर रहा है so then what will he do? So if there are anarthas still inside me, that means I have not asked enough. That's what I feel. I have not asked properly in the right consciousness. Because if I ask, like in that movie, what is it? Varuna Dev tells Prahlad Maharaj that you think you want to see Supreme Lord? He wants to see you more. You have not called him. Call him and see. So, and then when he starts calling, he immediately appears. Right? With the humble prayers, when he starts calling, he immediately appears. Such a beautiful scene. I can never forget. I was thinking if I'm dying, devotees should chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra around me, and somebody should hold the mobile and show that scene. Of Prahlad Maharaj opening his eyes and seeing the Supreme Lord. Yeah. We should call Prabhu. Problem is we are not asking for the anarthas to be removed. Problem is we are asking for us to be safe in this material world. That's the problem. That's what I feel. Huh? I want to be safe here. I want to be safe here. That's all I'm asking all the time. But I'm not asking, forget about my safety, remove my anarthas. So that's why maybe he's not removing, because he's stuck. We can make the God also stuck.
We are clinging on, Prabhu. We are still clinging on. Whatever it is, even that last straw of material comfort or something that we don't want to give up. We want to be safe, as you're saying, we cling on. And that creates all the anarthas inside us, Prabhu.
Nirdvandva nitva sattvasto niryogakshamam atmavan. Yogakshamam. But Kshema is holding us here. Traigunya Vishyaveda is very far away. I want to be safe. I want to be, comfortable. That's my main prayer all the time. I should die peacefully. I should live gracefully. All this, right? So that is why if any devotee also speaks anything wrong, we can't sleep for nights. Huh? How can he tell this to me? I'm the most purified soul. Anyway, this will go on, Prabhu. Please, sorry. I don't want to,
But let us keep praying, Prabhu, and let us pray for each other's progress. And
Yes,
Krishna
yes,
says, Yogakshem Mahamayam, he will protect our bhakti also. So not only
yes,
loving,
yes.
he will also protect our bhakti. Let's pray for that, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, where is the free will comes in this part, Prabhuji? You are saying that, okay, we have to pray Krishna to remove our anarthas, but where is our free will also comes in here? Because if we don't try, I mean, I don't know. I mean, because actually my daughter also asked the same question. Can I pray to Krishna and just ask him, okay, don't, give me this sense gratification without even you try? Because Krishna will not have control on our free will, right? So if we don't try ourselves, how we can just pray to Krishna and, okay, remove my anarthas? I'm just, I don't know, Prabhuji. I'm asking this question.
Prabhu, attachment and detachment are two sides of the same coin. Our free will is to be attached to that higher purpose. Automatically, the detachment will happen, Prabhu. So if you have got 24/7, Satatam Kirtayantavam. So if we are actually 24/7, if we are going to be engrossed in Krishna, automatically there is no space for any anarthas to come in. But the moment we give up that space, Maya will get into that space, it will enter. And anarthas will start developing.
Okay,
Lilananda
Prabhuji.
Prabhu, आप add करो. You please.
Huh?
You
No,
please
no,
add.
rightly said, Prabhu. No, no, rightly said. Our free will is the soul of this material world. In this material world, if you remove this free will, what is there? Nothing else is there. Right? Our free will is the one that is getting corrected. False ego is misuse of free will. Right? So our free will is there. It is very much there. And the ability to pray is coming from free will. The ability to not pray or abuse is also coming from free will only. So the whole material life is to, um, what is it, purify our choices. As Gorgopal Prabhu was saying, between B and D, there is a C. Between birth and death, there is a choice. Right? And our choices will determine whether we'll have another B after D. Something like that. So free will is very much there. Right now, we discussing all this is also our free will only enabled, right? We are able to use our free will to think and beg. So free will is there. Free will is soul. That's the quality of soul, part of Krishna. And he's never going to remove that, because if he removes that, then we are matter. We are not. We are not marginal energy. We are external energy, right? They don't have any free will there. But yes, free will is very much there, and that is the reason we are all associating, attending classes, trying to change our choices that will execute through that free will. Yeah, purification of our choices, purification of our desires. But it's very minuscule. Very small free will is left. Very small. Because if you really see, what am I going to choose after I get up in the morning? If somebody keeps upma dosa in front of me, my free will is gone. Khatam. It's gone. Even though I might get up with a thought that, oh, I'm going to be very health conscious today. I will only eat salad and this and that, and garam garam upma dosa on my bed, and like, what just happened? My old desires, my this, my that. I'm just saying an example. The modes are holding us, our desires are holding us, our past karmas are holding us, our tendencies are holding us. Free will kidhar hai? बहुत छोटा है. But that chota can change everything. That little choice that no, I'm not going to eat this because I have to be healthy and I have to do service for Krishna. Krishna, please help me give this, the prayer, and everything will change. Everything will change. That's my small take. Yeah,
Thank
Subara
you.
Prabhu, you want to add anything?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
No, Prabhu, no, Prabhu. That's what, as you said, the intention to ask for is itself is the free will, basically. That intention, that's where the free will is actually coming into play. That itself is not there, then we are not surrendering. Surrendering is all about is surrendering the free will to God, basically.
Yeah.
So, that's Prabhu. Very nicely put in. Thank you.
Deepa Mata, you want to say anything?
No, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Nice
Everybody's
discussion.
free will. Everybody's free will is.
Yeah, Prabhu. And what we
Thank
forget
you.
is Kala is Krishna. Time is Krishna. But we waste time. So we should not be wasting that, even that single moment, whatever time we have, if we utilize it in his service or thinking about him, that detachment will come. But it's still far sighted, and I'm preaching out here. I myself don't practice it.
So we are discussing this, Prabhu. Amazing that. Just imagine 10 years ago, 15 years ago, would we have imagined being in such a forum and discussing such things to purify ourselves? I don't think so. Today we are all with like-minded people. The other day, Balgand Prabhu told a wonderful thing on Dasara when we were having a Dasara feast or something. He was giving a lecture. He told, just looked at everybody and said, you all realize how fortunate you are that you are between like-minded people? Like that he told. It's like, why? That's the greatest wealth. What is the use of having so much wealth, materialistic wealth, when you don't have anybody like-minded to talk
Correct.
or listen? or reflect. Here in this call, there are wonderful devotees, everybody who are almost like-minded, keeping Prabhupada in the center, right? And this itself is a great opulence. लोग तरस जाते हैं प्रभु बात करने के लिए, you know, कुछ सुनने वाला कोई नहीं है. And there is nobody to hear. So I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you very much.
Prabhu.
Hare
Sorry,
Krishna.
Prabhu. One more question I have.
Yes, Prabhu.
Your
Talking
free will
about
you can execute, Prabhu. Wait, sorry.
No, I mean, we're talking about this jail, right? So, all these 14 planetary systems is considered material world and entire honor, but why only earthly planet is given for karma, utilizing or burning our karma or doing this karma? Why not other? This is entire everything is material world, right? From Swarga Loka to Patal Loka, all these 14 planetary systems are material world. But why only this earthly planet was given to burn our karma or satisfy our karma, not other planets?
That is Lord's free will.
But it is most conducive. So it's not that, and Lilananda Prabhu, please correct me also. But my understanding is that you can burn karma, but the other planets are not conducive to burn karma. So if you are sitting in Swargaloka and all that, then we are not thinking about that. We are thinking about is material enjoyment only.
In fact,
And if we
Prabhuji, in
are in
other
Patal
planets,
Loka, we are getting punished so much that we don't have even a chance to think about anything else.
I was going to say software industry is there in this planet, so this is the best place.
in fact, Prabhuji, other planetary systems are where we are burning karma. In upper planetary systems, we are burning pious karma. Lower
karma.
planetary systems, we are burning the impious karmas. This is the place where we are making new karmas. The software industry.
Welcome to karmic industry. See, the point is very simple. Where is the most impact? Impact of purification, where does it happen? When everything is favorable or where everything is unfavorable? Tell me. Where is the maximum impact on our ego? Where everything is favorable or everything is unfavorable?
It looks favorable, but but is unfavorable.
That is that planet. If you go up, everything looks favorable. And then, anything happens, the impact is not zyada nahi hai. If you go down, everything is unfavorable. There you are getting beaten every day. See, just imagine getting beaten every day. Every month. Kya purification? Kuch bhi nahi hai. Already you are used to getting beaten up also. But Earth is the best place where you can endeavor to lead a heavenly life and get tortured in the house like hell. So beautiful. This is the Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gam Tararam Pam Pam. That song. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, actually, we're not making it up. This answer is there in many places that when there is too much bhoga and aishwarya, we can't focus on spiritual life. And that is the reason devatas are wanting to take birth in Earth planet and join the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because it's the best ticket to get out. Easiest and the best ticket to get out. Kali Yuga is very, very perfect time to get out, because the process is very simple. Easy and fast way to go back. Swift and fast way to go back. But the truth remains that the whole thing is material world. Whole thing is material world. It's like Prabhupada saying, what is more good, fresh tool or dry stool? What is better? There's nothing better. Both are stool only, na? Whether it is fresh right now in the morning or dried up by evening. So whether it's heavenly planet or whether it is hellish planet, both are same. Be ready to go back. That's all it is. But Earth is good because we have software industry here. Thank you.
Sorry for intervening too many times, Prabhuji, but
No, no, good.
also I feel that when Lord has designed something, He is designed very scientifically. Everything is designed our body, this system, the universe. So we can't really say ki why He has done it that way. Why Earth only? So alaite then we have to question everything as why. We just have to accept that it is designed this way, but it is very scientifically designed. So that at least somebody can have an option from where at a center low he's kept not too much, not like it's kind of a neutral point from where you can actually get out of this. Isn't it an amazing scientific system that you're not like very high up, you're not in a pendulum, you're not like on the either side of the extremes, but you're actually somewhere in the center, and everything ultimately comes to the like there is a mean reversal ఏదో అంటారు దాన్ని. You are there in the center, and from there it's very easy to get out. Probably Lord also has a very scientific way of designing everything, so this is a part of that. Why it is done so, there is no answer to that, because there is
Well,
no answer to, like, if we say why 100 years to human life, why mosquito life is this much, why and pratidani inka manam why earth is here in the third place, why not in the first place. Then everything Lord has designed it that way, we just have to take it. That's my opinion, Prabhu.
no, correct only, correct only. I just want to say, Mataji, that the why comes out in different forms. Some people ask why God created earth like this. Some people ask, why did I get a husband like this? Some people ask why my child is like this. All are the same reflection of that why only. Everywhere every time we use the word WHY, right? We are questioning God's plan or God's design.
True,
So
Prabhu.
some people question about God's creation. Why is it like that? Some people question God's operation in this creation. Why is it like that? And some people question why is annihilation like that? Right? So we are all the time questioning. Um, but the greatness of pure devotee is he stops questioning that why. That's the conclusion. I mean, that's the end of our endeavor to get purified, where we stop questioning why. Anything happens, why did you do this? We will not ask, you know. We'll stop asking that why, because now we know he has done it. Like you rightly said, it is his design. Who are we to question? But don't think that we are not questioning. We are all the time questioning. Even right now, you might be questioning, why is this Prabhuji speaking like this?
That's a wonderful reflection on why, Prabhuji. Makes a lot of sense also. Because we think only some whys are correct and some whys are wrong. But
There are many
actually,
other ways that we are doing.
all whys are wrong. Just accept.
There is a Telugu comedy movie of Rajendra Prasad. I'm forgetting that movie. One fellow keeps starting, why? He says, Mui. Mui matlab shut your mouth. So he'll, goodness and greatness of God is he doesn't shut our mouth. How unimaginable this is. That I'm part of this class and I'm also commenting, I'm allowed to comment, knowing who I am. This I can question why. Krishna, why did you? How could you? But that's his mercy. Thank you, bro. Thank you very much. Nice.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, it's almost like meeting in a
Yes, Prabhu.
real place and like a satsang. This is very sweet. I really enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you, Deepa Mataji. Thank you, Subara Prabhu. Anandram Prabhu, thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Your reflection from Singapore to India. Why? Mui.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving a forum to discuss the whys.
And no more why, Satyadev Prabhu. Or you had too much free will today to ask so many whys.
Yes, bro. Hare Krishna.
Mui.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sorry, bro. One
Yeah,
choice.
no problem.
Srimad
No
Bhagavatam
problem.
ki jai. Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Bhavane Bhe Vishnu. The Koti Vishnu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So much.
Dandavat
Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.